Welcome to the Wealthy and Healthy podcast, hosted by me, Beck Hibbard. This is the podcast where I share all of the juice around my story and how I went from being a broke and bankrupt single mum who had lost it all to rebuild my life in a few short years, creating a global six-figure business, all while remaining in my feminine flow and living a life of freedom. Now, in these episodes of this podcast, I will be teaching you how to build the life of your dreams whilst becoming the wealthiest and healthiest version of yourself. Now, let's get into today's episode. You guys, I have such an exciting and game-changing program for you in the month of March. This month, I am introducing my brand new program, 10K. This program is for you if you're wanting to scale your business to 10K a month so that you can quit your 9 to 5. Now, I totally get it. Your problem is that you believe in order to make 10K a month, you need a certificate, which will allow you to feel worthy enough to sell your offers as an expert in your field. You also believe that in order to make 10K a month, you need to spend money on running complicated Facebook ads, hire a virtual assistant to post on your social media, and create a fancy website with a sales funnel. But there is a simpler way to make 10K a month, and this is the program that will teach you how. I am here to tell you that after doing this program, you will have the tools and the understanding on how to make 10K a month in the most simplest way. No certification required, no hiring extra people, no working more hours, no sales funnels, no Facebook ads or any ads, no more hour-long discovery calls, and definitely no cold messaging strangers on Instagram saying something along the lines of, "Hey, I couldn't help but think of you," blah, blah, blah. We all know how that message goes. Now, this is for you if you are someone that is wanting to scale your business to be able to replace your 9 to 5 income. However, you feel like you are overwhelmed as you have done all of the things and seen little to no result. This is for you if you are someone that knows you have a profitable product or offer, but yet you lack the confidence in selling it. This is also for you if you have a negative and icky relationship with money and struggle to attract clients that want to pay you because of this. We literally have a whole money module on this. This is also for you if you are tired of jumping on sales call after sales call, sacrificing time with your family, and still not seeing any sales come through. And this is also for you if you want your business to make 10K a month without having to run ads, get certified, or create a sales funnel. 10K is the program that teaches you how to scale your business from $0 a month to 10K a month. So make sure you get in quick. I'm going to link this in the show notes because the door closes at the end of March for 10K, the program. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is very unique. I have never done anything like this. The team have never produced anything like this. We have taken snippets from the actual modules of the 10K program. And how this works is you could listen to this or you could watch this and you will actually see real footage of the modules, of the slides, of the trainings that I have delivered in the 10K program. Now, before we get into it and I explain the modules in a bit more depth, the 10K program, the doors are closing to this at the end of the month. So the very last day of this month, the 31st, at midnight Australian Eastern Standard Time. The doors are closing. I don't have a reopen date. So if you are curious or if you feel like this program is the program for you, and if you are wanting to make $10,000 a month in your business, then I strongly suggest that you get into the program because there is no guarantee that we're going to be opening the doors again for this program or even when we'll be opening the doors. So this is the program for you if you are wanting to learn how to attract your dream client via your social media. This is the program for you if you know that you have some blockages with your money mindset and you feel like that is interfering with how you attract money. This is the program for you if you want to create different offers like memberships, free offers, high ticket one-to-one coaching offers, but you don't know where to start. This is the program for you if you are wanting to make $10,000 a month in business. If you would like some more information and if you are ready to dive in and learn how to make 10K a month, then we'll put the link in the show notes. So make sure you go and click it, check it out. If you have any questions, you can send us an email at team@rebeccajade.com. In this first snippet, it is from the money module, which is module number 1, which you will have instant access to when you join the 10K program. Now, I am teaching you in this module how to identify your subconscious money mindset and your inner child so that you can reprogram it, okay? So that you can completely reprogram it so that you can actually attract more money through your business. Because here's what I know to be true. If you have blockages with your money mindset, if you have an inner child that is not completely abundant and neutral with money, you will struggle to receive money because your inner child will self-sabotage the way that you receive money. So what I cover in specifics in this snippet is that our stories with money play out in our business. Okay, so the stories that we currently tell ourselves when it comes to money actually plays out in business. So it's really important to look at this, identify this, and rework with this so that you can create a different result. And if you don't do this money work to create neutrality, to break down the money blockages, then you will really struggle to receive money in your business. So that's what I cover in this snippet. I created this story about myself that I wasn't good enough and I wasn't worthy. And this story played out in my business. This story that I was holding on to with money played out in my business because my business was a portal for money. So my business was the thing where money got to flow through the business and into my bank account. But because I didn't feel worthy in that moment, because I had so much shame and so much guilt with my situation, I started subconsciously blocking my business from receiving the money. So consciously, I was out here and I was still doing the things, even though my world was just imploding, I was still showing up. I still needed to make money. I had to try and buy another car. I had to try and get a lease on another apartment. I had to try and still get bond for the new apartment and furniture. And I had to still try to make an income and a living with all these things. So consciously, I'm out here and I'm still doing the things that I know to build the business. I'm still selling, I'm still posting, I'm still talking to people. But subconsciously, there was a huge blockage. And subconsciously, there was a shadow there. And it was literally saying, do not give me money because I am so afraid I will fuck it up again. And that was my reality. And I struggled for so long. I struggled and I struggled and I struggled. And then I started to get a little bit of success. So I started to learn about money in a very masculine way. And this is predominantly what money is taught in today's society. Money is taught in a very masculine way. And so I started to learn about money, but it was in the way of working more, hustling, grinding, literally burning out. Okay. But society's not going to tell you to burn out, but they're going to tell you to work 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. They're going to tell you to post 3 times a day. They're going to tell you to send your product and cold message 25 people to get your offer out there. They're going to tell you all these things, but what they won't tell you is this is going to lead to resentment and burnout. So I did all these things. And I built a business to 6 figures based on working 70-hour work weeks. I was literally working so much. Even Saturdays, I would work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I would say to my daughter, like, today I can't spend time with you, but tomorrow is Sunday and I get the day off and we'll hang out. And what created was so much resentment with my daughter. She would always ask me, are you working today? Are you working today? I don't get to spend time with you. And then she started acting out at school. And I even went to the lengths of hiring a nanny so that I could work more. And the nanny would be struggling with my daughter because my daughter just resented the fact that someone else was helping her get her afternoon snack and it wasn't her mum. And it came to a point where I had the money and the money was coming in. The money was good, 6 figures. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. But I had this moment and I was driving one day and I was driving down the highway And I was looking at my life. And at this point, I'd rebuilt my life to pretty good. I was living in a, beachfront apartment on the Gold Coast, and I was driving a Mercedes. And so I had rebuilt things quite good. But I just sat as I was driving on the highway and I thought, if this is what it looks like to be rich, if this is what it looks like to be successful, I don't want it. I don't want it. And tears started rolling down my cheeks. And I was driving and I'm trying to see the road and I'm crying and I'm crying. And I said to God, I was like, if this is what it takes, I don't want it. I'm missing out on time with my baby. She's growing in front of my eyes and I'm not seeing it. Someone else is raising her. And I'm locked away in my home office and I'm jumping on sales calls after sales calls and it feels like I'm convincing people to work with me, and I get a little bit of success and then I'm back down and I'm back up, and it's just this evolution of resentment and burnout, and I don't want it anymore. And then something hit me, and my intuition said, you create the rules to your reality. You create the rules to your reality. And I'm here to tell you right now that you create the rules to your reality. And you are running a blueprint which dictates how you receive money. And this blueprint is formed between the age of 0 to 8. When we come into this world as babies, we are completely impressionable. We don't have opinions. We don't know right from wrong. And so as we're being raised, our parents are trying their best to teach us what is right from wrong. They say to us, don't touch the stove, it'll burn your hand. Don't put a fork in the power outlet, you'll die. When you go to cross the street, look left, look right, look both ways before you cross. Wait for the green man to go off the crossing and then you can walk. So they're teaching us, but they're teaching us based on their own perception. They're teaching us based on their own lived experience that they received from their parents, and it's just getting passed down and passed down and passed down. And so I realized that this blueprint and this reality that I'm living, it's not mine. It was passed down from my parents. It was a blueprint that I received from my mom and my dad. And as a little human being, I decided that this is the way that I had to live. And this is the way that I had to live life in order to create money, in order to be successful. And when I sat there in my car and I heard the words, you create the rules to your reality, I was like, holy fuck. I do, because I create the blueprint. And up until this point, I had been subconsciously running a blueprint that I was not aware of. And it wasn't until I sat and I really looked at my programming as a child and identified what my blueprint was, that is when I changed my reality. And so I want to share with you, since that moment, almost 2 years ago, my reality has changed. My reality has changed so drastically that I now teach money in the form of mindset, and I teach people how to change their current blueprint, which is going to change their outer reality. And that's what I'm here to do today. And I'm here to show you how to do that. And so I'm living proof, as I said, and I'm going to tell you how I'm living proof. So I went from going from bankruptcy, completely broke, to absolutely nothing, having everything stripped away, to then rebuilding it, but rebuilding it with the blueprint that I had to sacrifice. I had to burn out and I had to work long hours in order to get a decent lifestyle. And then when I had that come to God moment, from that point, which is roughly 2 years ago, my lifestyle has changed incredibly. When I had that come to moment, I was making between $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month at the cost of burning out and really on the verge of completely quitting and throwing it all in. And now my reality is I only work a few hours a day. We average between $30,000 to $50,000 a month. I've been able to retire my partner and he works for me in our company. And I'm currently in Malaysia. I'm traveling the world and we've just booked tickets to Dubai. We go to Dubai tomorrow, and then after that, we're off to the Philippines. And life is just absolutely beautiful and abundant. And we decide what we want to do based on what we want to do, not based on the dollars in the bank account. And let me tell you, hard work, hustle, and burnout is not a requirement. I refuse to do long hours. I refuse to burn out. If I'm going to work long hours, it's because I want to, not because I feel that I have to. It's because I'm passionate about what I'm doing. And don't get me wrong, there are days where I'll sit there and I'll do, a few more hours than usual, but I am turned on, I am lit up. And that's why I do what I do, not because I have this preconceived idea that that is what I have to do in order to be successful. In this snippet from Module 2, we are talking about failure. We are talking about failure not being the enemy and how you can actually utilize those slow months to create higher cash months. You can turn them around within an absolute instant. Then I am teaching you how to turn your discomfort into innovation. How to become the Apple of your industry and not get left behind like a BlackBerry. This module is so important and one of the modules that I know will help you deeply in your business, and no one teaches it the way that I do. No one talks about embodiment and having a strong sense of personal power the way that I teach it. And I really teach you to become the most resilient, the most strongest and abundant businesswoman that there is to be, so that you can continue to ride the highs and the lows of business, so that you can continue to make those 10K months. You are launching as if like you've never launched something greater before. You are passionate, you are convicted, you have courage, you are jumping on the live videos, you're doing the free masterclasses, regardless, you're holding the energy and the vibration of receiving. You're putting out and you're receiving. You know that the sales are coming through. You know that the money's going to land, regardless of the time, regardless of how long it takes, regardless whether it's this launch, the next launch, a launch in 6 months from now. You are ready to receive and you are showing up in accordance with that. You're making moves towards that. You're in your personal power. You are convicted in your message. You are so passionate about what you're doing. You could talk about it for years and years and years and years and years without a single breath. That is personal power. But when you lose your personal power, you move into circumstantial power. Now, what happens with circumstantial power is that you only feel powerful when you're winning. And I will be the first person to tell you if you haven't heard this before, but we don't always win. Sometimes we lose in life because we need the duality. If we didn't lose in life, well, then we wouldn't know what winning would feel like. If we didn't have a launch that failed, well, guess what? We wouldn't know what launches winning would feel like, that successful launches would feel like. If we didn't fail from time to time, if we didn't fall, we wouldn't know how to become better. Because when you are constantly winning, when you are constantly in a world of plus, 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 then you don't actually turn around and go, hey, what could we improve upon? And you become comfortable and complacent with the pluses. So sometimes the failure, sometimes the setbacks, sometimes the launches that don't sell, the products, the offers that aren't just offering, sometimes we need that. Because we need to stop and we need to look at things from a bigger lens. We need to sit down and go, okay, what could we do better? What's not in alignment? Where do I need to improve upon? What is the next thing that I need to invest in that's going to make me a better speaker, a better coach, that's going to make me a better marketer? What is that thing? But if you're constantly in the land of plus, 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 you become complacent. The reason why Apple is the most successful phone provider in this world is because they continue to look at how they can innovate and expand. They continue to consistently look at the world and go, how can we make our products better? How can we make it better? And then you have people like BlackBerry, the old school phones. You remember those phones back in the day? They were huge. They were living in a world of plus, plus, plus. And they got so comfortable and complacent in the world of plus, plus, plus that there's no longer BlackBerry around. They weren't willing to innovate. They weren't willing to look at things from a different lens and say, okay, where could I improve this? What could we do better? Instead, they lived in the world of plus, plus, plus in comfort and went, okay, that's great. Everyone's going to buy a BlackBerry forever and ever and ever. But that's not what happened. Apple stepped forward and they innovated. They looked at what their people wanted. They looked at where they were failing. They made tweaks. They fixed the bugs. They continue to do so. They continue to pivot and to move and expand and grow. Their world has not been always plus, plus, plus. They've had setbacks. They've had failures. They've had things that they've launched that they no longer sell. So I'm here to tell you that you are going to have moments throughout your journey of making $10,000 a month, and it is going to look like failure. It is going to feel like you're getting constantly hit down. But those are the moments where you get to sit there and go, okay, I'm not going to be in my circumstantial power, and instead I'm going to lean into my personal power. Instead, I'm still going to show up with my conviction. I'm still going to show up and sell today. No one's brought my offer. But I know the $10,000 version of me, I know that she would still continuously be showing up and she would still be selling. I know the $10,000 version of me would still be posting my content. I know the $10,000 version of me would still launch the next program. So what? I didn't have the amount of sales or no one brought that last launch? Okay, I can look at that. I can evaluate that, and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to evaluate that, but I'm also going to continue to show up. I'm going to continue to lean into my personal power and act with conviction. That is what makes you six figures. The ability to keep moving through the circumstances, but move through those circumstances and hold your personal power. Do not let your circumstances take away from what you've gone through or what you're going through. Continue to show up and have that long-term vision. If you only have that short-term vision, that will completely take you out of the game. Short-term results are a given. You will get short-term results, you will get short-term wins. But if you are consistently just living out this business journey of, okay, I need to get a short-term win to make my ego feel good, you're not going to last very long here. You are not going to last very long here. Whereas if you know that you are going to get the short-term results and you're going to celebrate them, but your long-term vision is beyond $10,000 a month, you will continue to move with courage. You will continue to move with confidence. You will continue to tap into your personal power. The difference between where you are now in business and where you want to be is you just lack personal power. The moment that you can cultivate your personal power is the moment that you step into the most courageous, confident, and powerful version of yourself. And like I have said, energy attracts energy. People follow people who are confident. People follow people who are powerful. People follow people who are convicted. People follow people who are leaders. So where are you not leading yourself? And this is some homework that I want you to lean into and a journal prompt that I want you to get your book out and write down. I want you to ask yourself, where are you not leading yourself right now? What is the thing that you know that you need to be doing that you're not doing? Because you know, you're smart, you're running a business, you have enough personal power. You know that thing that you need to be doing. What is it that you aren't doing that you know if you just did it, it would cultivate so many results. So many people would be magnetized to you. What is that thing? And then detach from the results. So when you lean into your personal power, you're detaching. Because when we attach ourselves to the results, what happens is we are holding so tightly onto the thing. When you're holding so tightly onto the thing, it has to work, this has to be it, you lose the ability to expand to receive more. Everything is energy and everything is frequency. And the $10,000 that you are wanting to receive every single month requires you to let go. You know that saying, let go and let God? Well, you got to let go and let the universe. If you are doing all the things that you know you need to be doing, and if you are showing up as the version of you that's making $10,000 months that is rooted in their personal power, well, when you let go, that's when you receive. It's when you're holding on to it so tightly that you can't receive. How can you? Imagine you're holding on to something so tightly and I come up to you and I want to give you more. You're like, but I can't let go of this. What if I let go and it just leaves me? I can't let go of this. You lose out on the ability to receive more. So there is a position in life when it comes to business where you do all the things, you show up as who you're meant to show up, and then you let go. Because when you let go, then you can keep expressing yourself, you can keep expanding, you can keep growing. But the reason why we don't let go is because we're so fearful that if we let it go, we're going to lose it. If we let it go, we're going to lose it. But it's not going to get lost. You can let it go. You can release it. You can open up to receive more. When you know and when you have certainty around what you're doing and when you show up in your offers with certainty, that sends out the energy. People are attracted to that. But you don't have certainty when you're holding on to something so tight that you're afraid if you let it go, it's never going to come back to you. That is fear. And when you have that energy of fear, you are literally just going to attract more of that lack into your life and into your offers. So the moment that you know that you can let go and everything's going to be okay and you're not going to die and it's all going to be fine and it's all going to work out in the end is the moment that you receive more. In this last snippet from our module 4, I am teaching you how to attract your dream client so that you can start attracting clients and leads via your social media. I share with you how I make 10K a month in my sleep without selling anything new and how you can do the same. I also teach you to not sell above your results, how to fully authentically own what you have achieved so that you can attract clients that want to buy from you with confidence. Everything has an underlying energetic frequency, as we know. So the other hack is be consistent. However, don't just post to post. Consistency is so important. If you can consistently post powerful content every single day using the method that I've shown you, well, then that's obviously going to send out an energetic frequency. You're going to be getting more eyes on your page. You're going to be known as very consistent. People are going to recommend you to their friends as well. Like if you're not a regular poster, why would someone ever tell their friend to follow you on Instagram? They're not going to, because you're not there regularly enough. If you're really regular and if you are taking up space and if you are being known for something, then they're going to recommend you to their friends or to their family. And that's where they are obviously going to say, hey, follow this person. So just be mindful. Consistency is absolutely king, but don't just post to post. So if that means that if you're someone that is in a rush, well, you might need to actually carve out time in your calendar to contemplate, to sit and to think. And when you do carve out time to create content, get out of your space. That's my biggest tip when it comes to like creating content. For me, I don't create good content when I'm at home, when I'm just like stuck between four walls. But if I take the time to go for a coffee, or if I take myself out on a date, or if I literally like go shopping, or if I'm doing something new and different, or like traveling is a great example. There's so much creative energy around us when we're traveling. But if I'm doing things to make time, that's when I tap into my creative juices so much better and I can create with so much more potency. So get out of your current environment. The other thing is being authentic. Now, if this triggers you, good. It's meant to trigger you and you need to hear this. But stop pretending to be someone you're not or sell results you haven't yet gotten. Okay, this is like the bane of my existence. And it's not the bane of my existence because I get triggered. It's the bane of my existence because I know that these are why people aren't hitting 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, 50K months. It's because they are pretending to be someone they're not. What happens when you show up online and you say to people, I'm going to use 7-figure coach? Okay, because I see this a lot. I see a lot of people say to people that, you know, they can help them make $1 million or they can help them attract $1 million client, like a client that's a millionaire. But I know that that person hasn't received 7 figures and that person knows that they haven't actually achieved 7 figures, received 7 figures, and they've never had a 7-figure client before. So what happens is there's an undertone of an energetic frequency. So when they're out here, whilst consciously they are posting they're the 7-figure coach and they can help you make 7 figures, subconsciously they know that they're talking bullshit. Subconsciously, they know that they're not. So if you're someone that is saying to people, oh, I can help you get this result, but you haven't done it yourself, stop fucking doing that. Stop doing that, because you're actually doing yourself a disservice. Instead, coach from where you are, teach from where you are, coach from what you know, teach from what you know. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Your life experience and where you've gotten to this day is more than enough. It's perfect. It's more than enough. And you get to show people, I went from here and now I'm here. This is what I can teach you to. And then if people decide to follow you, they get to come on the journey. What happens is if you're telling people that you can get them these results you haven't yet mastered yourself, you're actually coaching above your skill set. And also too, what happens is if you're out here saying you're a 7-figure coach, you could help someone make 7 figures or even 6 figures, and you haven't done it yourself. When you hit 6 figures, you can't celebrate that, because you've lied to your audience and you say you're a 6-figure coach. So when you actually come the day that you hit 6 figures, you're not actually going to be able to fully celebrate that, because there's going to be a part of you that's hiding that. So it's really, really important, not only for your audience, but for you to be authentic. And this whole idea of I have to be someone else, I have to have different results, is absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit, because there's people like you. Like, you got to remember, your dream client is you. You're attracting you. So your dream client needs to know the skills that you've learned to get you to this point. They don't care about if you're someone that is making less than 10K a month and you could teach someone, say, make 5K a month. That's what you've done. That's what you could teach them how to make 5K a month. Speak into that. Don't talk about making people 10K a month if you haven't done it yet. I'm teaching you how to make 10K a month because I've done it. I've surpassed it. I've gone over it. We've smashed through it. But I'm teaching you that because I can literally make 10K a month with my eyes closed. No joke. 10K a month is what my company does as a bare minimum if we don't sell a single thing. That's what we do as a bare minimum. So I'm teaching you this because I've gotten to this year on year on year on year. 10K is my absolute minimum. I literally make that in my sleep. And that is why I'm teaching you that. Okay, that is literally why I have a program that's 20K. Again, I make 20K consistently, and I ran that program on the back of having 20K a month, $33,000 a month. That's why I created that program, because it was a year long of that consistent result. So I created that program. But if I'm out here telling people I can make them 7 figures and I'm creating a program based on 7 figures, but I haven't done that yet, what happens when I actually hit 7 figures? What am I going to create then? I can't celebrate that. So just be super authentic and know that your story and where you are now is more than enough, and you can actually use that to your power and to your advantage. Speak to where you are now. Teach as to where you are now. Sell from where you are now, because there are people in the journey that need you where you are now to help them, to educate them, and to teach them. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you feel called and if you feel aligned, please share this on your social media and tag me at Bec Hibbard, because I love to reshare all of the tags. And if you really feel called to it, and I would honestly really appreciate this if you could leave a 5-star review on whatever platform that you're listening to this episode on.